What's up? And welcome back to the Something's Bruin podcast, episode 99.
99.
The 1999 Boston Bruins, 5th place in the Northeast Division, 12th in the conference. They were terrible. 24, 33, and 19. They had a home record of 12, 17, and 11. They were better on the road, 12, 16, and 8. They scored 210 goals, 248 goals against. Pat Burns was the coach. Ray Bourque was the captain until he got traded. They still played at the Fleet Center. Joe Thornton had 23 goals that year, 37 assists. He led the team in points with 60. He also led the team in penalty minutes. Plus minus, another shout out, Anson Carter. He was leading the team at +8.
Heyo.
And Byron
+8 led the team?
Dude, listen to this. Wins for a goalie leading the team. Byron Defoe with 13 total wins.
Oh my God. And Omar had like 50 last year, whatever the hell he had.
Yeah, he had so many.
48, something like that. He was knocking on the door.
Yeah, he was in the 40s. But Mel, you can see this. If this episode ends up on YouTube, the people at home are going to be able to see this as well. But the Something's Bruin studios are going under a little bit of construction right now. They're going through a little bit of construction. I flipped my desk around, so now you don't see the hallway in the background. I got some jerseys hanging up. I got a Winter Classic banner that's hanging up. I got this thing. You see this thing on the wall?
Yeah, does it turn it on?
You want me to turn it on?
I do.
All right, hang
I
on.
have that same thing on the right. All the Bruins
Oh,
logos.
the little banner?
Yeah, I have the exact same thing.
I got it at Olympia Sporting Goods. Hang on, ready? I'll turn on the neon sign. You ready for this? You're probably wondering why it isn't on right now.
Yeah, turn it on. If you turn it on and your house burns down, I guess I'll know why it wasn't on.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh my God. You're sitting in front of the sun.
So it's too bright, as I've come to find out. I plugged it in about a half an hour ago to test it out to see how it would look. And lo and behold, it's just so bright that it's like the sun is over my shoulder.
Jesus. Maybe it's a good omen or something. As you can see, I'm also under construction. I'm currently sitting out front of a gas station, just on the curb in front of this brick wall. Brought my little microphone. I'm just recording right here. I don't have a fancy backdrop like you, but this will have to do for now.
Just outside of 7-Eleven. But I do have something coming in the mail as well. And it's going to hopefully, it's another sign. I'll say that. It's another neon sign. And I spent a decent chunk of money on this one. So I'm really hoping that it's going to be able to be seen in the background. Otherwise, it's just going to be money out the window. One? It's a custom one. Yes.
You got a custom neon sign?
I did.
Oh, man. Are you going to tell me what it says, or am I going to have to wait?
No, I was just going to say, I haven't told anybody about this. Tess is the only one who's seen it. But it should be on the way. It should be here by the time we record next episode. So, like I said, the studio is going under construction. I got this new microphone. I have a whole new setup here, dude. It's actually kind of sick. Dude, it's actually kind of sick. Here, so I'll take it off right now. Actually, can we get a little applause for the new studio here? Can we get a little bit of applause here for the new studio? Come on.
Soundboard.
We got the soundboard, and we got this whole microphone set up. So we are cooking with gas. This
wow,
season,
it almost looks like we know what we're doing now.
It does. And I mean, we're set up and primed to have a really big year next year. We have a whole lot of tools now at our belt. It even has custom audio buttons so that I can record, delete, I can put in new sounds, I can put in new intros to bits, and I'm not going to play those until they come up because I want to keep you surprised. But I will say we will be using at least 2 of them on today's episode. So
that's exciting. I think all that fancy equipment I bought this microphone like episode 12, and that's it. Just me and my mic. Oh my God, I'm already sick of it.
Yep. It's gonna bring a whole new element to the podcast. If you like it, you might do something like this. If you hate the soundboard, you might do something like this.
We should get we should get like a sports hub button whenever we have like a bad take or we see something on Twitter that's just something you would hear from the sports hub. Hit the button.
Like perhaps these are the preloaded ones, so perhaps something like you're an idiot. That take sucks.
That's a pretty cool looking soundboard too when you angle your camera down there.
It is. It's pretty cool. It's got a whole lot of doohickeys on it. I obviously before we recorded today, I kind of looked through the tutorials. I watched a few videos on what all the buttons mean and things that I should do with it. But yeah, there's 8 preloaded audio sounds and then 4 custom ones that I can interchange at any time. So that will be a new element to the podcast to look forward to. Or hate. Depends on who you are.
We're getting legit. I gotta say, your microphone too is pretty nice. Your voice, it's like you're whispering in my ear right now. You're very clear.
Yeah, it's like what David Allen Boucher. That's the Nighttime Stories. The guy on the
Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher. What is it? We won the Bourbon Bowl.
You remember when Bobby Boucher came up at halftime in the Bourbon Bowl and the Mud Dogs came back?
Oh my god, dude, this is insane. This is gonna be so much fun. But anyways, welcome back to the show. Episode 99. We're one away from 100. As always, brought to you by the one and only PrimeTime Productions. Give them a follow on Twitter at PrimeTime Prods. We don't have much to talk about. We're still waiting for the Swayman extension. If that comes, hopefully it comes. I can't imagine that it won't come. But outside of that, there hasn't really been any Bruins news. We've seen the Bruins social team parading Nikita Zadorov around the city. I think he was part of the firefighter crew today that actually helped the guy off the Zakem Bridge. He just stood at the bottom and reached his hands up and just grabbed it. No, but he seems to be enjoying the city. I was listening to a couple of the video promos that they put out. One was with Eric Russo, and he was basically just introducing Zadorov to the social team and asking him questions about the city. And one point came up when Zadorov was mentioning how he'd been here, obviously for visiting games, and he was on the road and they would come to Boston. And he said, yeah, like there's a couple of nice restaurants, but since you're a road team, you don't really get a lot of time in the city. But he always enjoyed the history. He always enjoyed how loud and how hard of a building that the Garden was to play in. And so I'm excited for more of those videos to come out. But he genuinely seemed like he was at home. And that made my heart so happy.
Yeah, especially your heart happy. We always say you're the guy who's been pushing for this before anybody was even talking about him last year. But I always the Bruins, not even just their social team, but the whole Bruins media team always does such a good job with promoting these guys and the whole bear track scene that they do. Last couple of years, whenever they have a big signing, they'll parade the guy around town and kind of. They did. I don't remember who it was. They did one. It might have been like Trent Frederick on no.
For the bear tracks or like what
about it? It was they had somebody on a duck boat, and not recently. This was like last year.
No. Wait, maybe there was a more recent one, but the one that popped in my head instantly was Louis Eriksson. They paraded Louis Eriksson around.
It honestly might have been Louis Eriksson. Yeah, it's so funny, and for a guy like Zadorov, 6'6" Russian, guy's got the deepest voice I've ever heard, and to hear him like walk around with his family and talk about Boston, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's definitely, there are good cities to play in and there's bad cities to play in. And Zadorov, this is his 6th team, and hopefully he's able to find a long time home here in Boston. But if he wants good food, he's in a good spot. If he wants a nice city, he's in a good spot. If he wants to play for a team that's going to be competing for a Stanley Cup, he's in a great spot, and he's here for the next 6 years. So I'm pumped to have Zadorov. I today when you texted me about one of the segments what we're going to do on the show, I was looking at the Bruins roster, and dude, I totally forgot that the Bruins got Elias Lindholm. I was like, all right, first line center, I guess probably Zach. Oh my god, wait, Elias Lindholm is the Bruins. That's totally right.
Well, dude, it's funny that you said that because the way that obviously you would think out of the two guys that they signed, right? Zadorov and Lindholm, that Lindholm being the bigger, ticket item, I guess, if you can phrase it that way, you would think that they would be, showing him more on social media, showing him more on in Bruins gear, getting a new jersey. But no, we've seen Zadorov get his new jersey, established with Don Sweeney and him standing in the studio room, lifting up the jersey, showing the number. By the way, fanatics, come on. I mean, the picture, it looked like they just pulled the jersey out from the bottom of the laundry bin and they were like, all right, Zadorov, like, let's get out there.
It was probably a Mark Savard jersey that they just ripped the plate off and slapped the door onto, because 91 is a ridiculous number for a defenseman. I'm sorry.
Dude.
That's crazy. I love it too. I think it's just it perfectly describes the craziness of Nikita Zadorov as the Bruins defenseman, is to throw 91 on his back. There's some crazy numbers you go around the NHL, like we mentioned it before, like Brad Marchand has probably the ugliest number in the NHL. Nobody's wearing 63 before Brad Marchand took it. Vasilevsky, 88. What kind of goalie's wearing a number above 35, let alone 8? I mean, Rask was in the 40s, but still, like 88 is a goal scorer's number, not a goalie number. And here comes Nikita Zadorov, we're at 91. The usually reserved for like finesse centers or something like that. But no, you're totally right, because I feel like I've hardly really seen anything from the Bruins media team, or really anybody, about and when I say anybody, I mean like media companies or networks or whatever, really talking about or highlighting Elias Lindholm on the Bruins. It's been all Nikita Zadorov, all the the Twitter content, interviews. I think I've seen like one interview with Elias Lindholm since he's been a Bruin. The one thing that I do want to see is the Spider-Man meme when they're pointing at each other. I want to see Hampus and Elias recreate that meme. I think that would be so funny if they did that on like TikTok or something. That would probably go pretty
great
big.
idea.
I did see though the guys that they have in for Dev Camp have been making some pretty funny. I can't tell you who the hell is who, but they do have some good actors down there in Dev Camp. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, they do. Bruins have one of the best social teams out there. I know Elaine Cavalieri is a big part of that, so shout out to her. But yeah, I mean, we were kind of talking about one of the segments we were going to do. So we both jotted down our own opening night lineups. So opening night lineups with the team as it is right now, we're assuming Swayman has an extension, so he is one of the goalies. But Mel, do you want to go through your forward group first, and then I'll go through mine?
First of all, I was saying before we started recording, I've been fighting something for like 2 months. I'm having trouble talking. So if I sound like ass or shit right now, that's why. Don't blame me. Blame my immune system. Yeah, so I was coming up with my lineups today. I was writing them down on a sticky note. I have like 4 of them next to me because I kept switching everything around. But I made my lineups with the thought that Lysell and or Merkulov will start the year in Providence. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I just attack this with the NHL caliber players that the Bruins have in their roster right now. Do you want me to read my whole lineup, or do you want to go line by line, like back and forth?
Let's do groups. So you do your forward group and explain your reasoning, and then I'll do my forward group.
Okay. First line, I have Zacha, Lindholm, Hampus Lindholm, though. No, I'm just kidding. Zacha, Elias Lindholm, and Pasta. I think it's self-explanatory. I do love Zacha at center, but of him and Lindholm, I mean, come on. So, and Zacha's also pretty good at wing. So he's one of the few players that can play wing and center effectively. Of course, he has that Czech connection with him and Pasta. And Elias Lindholm, you gave him that contract with the understanding you just got your first line center for the next 7 years. So first line, Zacha, Lindholm, Pasta, Schuin. I'm sure that's probably everybody's first line. Second line is where we already start getting off the rails, because who the hell is playing right wing? So second line, I have Marchand, Coyle, and then I went with Geeky because, again, I'm looking at this I'm just looking at NHL caliber players on the roster today, and also like half of this team is a lefty. Everybody on this team is a lefty. It's driving me insane. Can we get some righties in here, please? Geeky is like one of the only like natural right-handed shots in the bottom 6. So because of that, I slid Geeky up to my second line right wing. So Marchand and Cole are a lock on the second line. Or even you could flip Marchand and Zacha, but I want to keep Zacha and Pasta together because of the Czech connection. So second line, Marchand, Coyle, Geeky. Third line, I got Trent Frederick, Matthew Poitras, and then I threw Kastelik in there at right wing. This is where I was. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty confused as to who was gonna throw in here. Originally, at one point, I had Frederick at second line right wing, Geeky playing right wing on the third line, and then I don't know. I just had kind of a hosh posh of players. But my reasoning behind that is, I mean, Trent Frederick he's going to be a top 9 guy. I mean, obviously, you don't even really have to explain why he's there. He's also a lefty, so that's why I slid him at left wing. Matthew Poitras is going to be your third line center. He's a lock at that position. And Kastelic, I think he has intangibles to be more than a fourth line player. He's also only 25, so I mean, you kind of got a little youth movement going on there in your third line. He's 25, Freddie's 26, Poitras 19, turning 20. I also know how the Bruins have taken guys with a similar kind of track. I don't know if you want to say track record, but guys who maybe didn't produce where they were before. The Bruins have taken them in and kind of molded them into a better player. I mean, you can think of Zaka. And to be fair, I mean, Kastelic was playing in Ottawa. I mean, my God. I mean, you could put Wayne Gretzky in the Ottawa Senators and he would have 11 goals and 15 points. I mean, they suck. So I'm hopeful that, maybe playing in the system, he can become more of a top 9 player. Maybe a dare I say middle 6? I don't know. But having him playing that third line right wing position, he's also a center. So actually, all 3 of them are centers. So if God forbid Poitras gets kicked out, you can have somebody go back into the center position and take that face off. This is also going to be a hard line to play against because he's 6'4", and Castilla can really, I mean, he can knock the daylights out of somebody if he gets mad. Ken Frederick is like 6'3". We all know the kind of grit and tenacity he plays with, and I think honestly, it's a bit of a yin and yang having those two playing opposite of one another with Matthew Poitras. I mean, our sweet prince, the teenager playing right in between the two of them. So that could be a fun line. So that's my third line right now. Also, Kastelic is a righty. So he's playing his natural side. Fourth line. I forgot his first name, but at left wing, I have Jones. Is it Max Jones?
Max Jones, yeah.
Yeah, I got Max Jones at left wing. I got the old boy Johnny Beach at center. And I got Brazeau at right wing. Okay. This one, who's the odd man out here? I mean, Boqvist is gone. Right. I mean, I know like Mark McLaughlin's there. I don't know. Again, Merkulov and Lysell, I'm kind of entering this with a thought of I don't know if they're going to be playing opening night. But, Max Jones is a really good bottom 6 guy. Really good fourth liner. I'll say that much. Really good fourth liner. He can draw some penalties. He's feisty. He's got a little bit of a skill set down there. And we were talking about it last episode, but he's a phenomenal locker room guy from everything that I've heard from people who know him more than I do, fans of the Anaheim Ducks, that there are. I got Johnny Beecher playing center, of course, because he's a face-off merchant. He's a demon in the dot. He's got a 200-foot game. He's a penalty killer. He is your prototypical fourth-line center. I never want anybody else ever playing that fourth-line center position as long as I live. Johnny Beecher should be a lock for the fourth-line center position. And then at right wing, I got the big fella, Justin Brazeau. I liked what we saw out of him last year when he was playing. Of course, we got him at the end of the year. He was pretty good in samples in the playoffs. I would like to see what he can do if he was given that fourth line right wing position. Again, I'm not expecting him to like pop off and get 20 goals in the fourth line, but I think he brings that size, that a different element onto that fourth line. And looking through the lineup too, the way that my lineups are set, I mean, your first line is good, of course, with Lindholm and Pasta and Zaka. Your second line, I mean, Coyle's 6'3". He's a big dog. He's hard to play against. Brad Marchand's 5'9", but he plays like he's 7 feet tall. Even Geeky, he's like 6'2". He's a bigger guy. I mean, third guy, Kastelic and Frederick. I mean, those are 2 guys who are tough to play against any night. Fourth line, you got 6'5", Brazeau. On the right wing, Max Jones opposite. I mean, I feel pretty good about those 4 lines. And we talk about it ad nauseum, the bottom 9 Bs or whatever the hell we were saying. And I think that these guys are going to get mixed and matched all throughout the lineup. But I think there's really any combination of guys you can put in these lines. And I feel pretty good that it's going to work. Again, if Lysell or Merkulov are playing opening night, maybe Max Jones doesn't play. Maybe Kastelic bumps down to the fourth line and you slide Lysell or Merkulov in that third line winger position. I don't know. Maybe you flip flop one of them with Geeky and give one of them a second line start. I don't know. But you definitely have options. So That's my forward group. That's my opening night lineup, and I don't know who they're going to be playing, but I'm expecting a Bruins pummeling.
Florida. They're playing Florida game
Oh
one.
shit! Are they really?
In Florida for the banner raising.
God, it's not bad enough that we had to watch the Bruins get knocked out of the playoffs in back-to-back seasons by the Florida Panthers, but now we have to watch them parade their stupid little banner around and hang the only banner hanging in that stadium. We're gonna watch them raise it.
Yeah, I'm
That
pretty sure
sucks.
that's game one for the Bruins. But looking at your lineup, I like your first line. I like your second line. And what I love about your third line, having Patra center, obviously that young kid, he's not the biggest guy, but he's going to be protected by both Freddie and Kostelic. I like that aspect of it. And then Jones, Beecher, and Brazo. I like sliding Beecher back to the middle. And keeping Brazo and Jones. That's a banger line with a guy who, like you said, is a demon on the dot. I have a couple differences in mind. So I have my first line's the same as yours. Zaka, Lindholm, Pasta. That's the first line. Like,
Wow, copycat.
Yeah. I took a look at yours before I wrote mine down. But I like that line. I would be surprised if it's any different come opening night, barring any injuries or anything serious happening. My second line is different. I have Marchand on the left. I have Patra down the middle, and I have Lysell at second line right wing. You get him in there right off the jump. You throw him into the fire right away. He's playing with a guy like Marchand. He's got another young guy down the middle in Matthew Patra, who kind of proved himself last year, before he got hurt. But my only thing with that is that Lysell has to perform in the preseason as well. If he's going to earn that spot, he needs to earn it. Like, he can't just be given it. He cannot just be giving it to him. There's been criticisms of his character in the past. We've heard it from Ryan Mujanel last season, the head coach of Providence, saying like, yeah, his skill set is there, but the mindset of a professional isn't exactly there yet. He seems to kind of whine and mope a little bit when things don't go his way, or when he's on a little cold streak, he seems to slouch a bit or not. He starts to reach a little bit and he doesn't really play his game. Now, granted, I don't watch a ton of Providence games, so I don't know on first-hand experience. I'm just going based off of what the coaches are saying, what people who follow the team closely are saying. But on the other hand, too, there's people that say like all that stuff is overblown and it's just people in Boston media being dramatic. So there's no real rhyme or reason to tell if that's true or not until we actually see it with our own eyes and we can make our own judgments. And you can say that's a little bit on me because I should be keeping up with Providence a little bit more, but it's not easy to, take in that many AHL games. But like I said, Lysell, if he wants that second line spot, he has to earn it. I think he will, which is why I put it there. Third line, I love this trio together. I think all three of these guys work really well when they're on the same line. They have great chemistry. Their play styles are similar. You might not get a lot of production per se out of this line, but you know that they're going to be reliable defensively. They can put one or two in here and there, but I wouldn't expect them to pop off for individually 40, 50 points. But I got Freddie, Coyle, and Kiki. I think those three together, I think that's a solid third line. Charlie Coyle's the best 3C in the league. He's a 2C on a good team, but on a Stanley Cup contending team, he's a 3C. And I think that this team can do that. So I have that as our third line. And then fourth line, I've got Beecher on the left, Kostelic down the middle, and Brazo down the right. That's a team, or not a team. That's a line of grinders. That's a line that's going to just wear the other team down, put the puck in deep, battle along the boards, and just wear out the opponent. But I can also see, I have Jones as my extra and Watherspoon's on the D side. We'll get into that later.
Oh, you spoiled it.
Newsflash, Watherspoon is my seventh. But I have Max Jones as a scratch, but I feel like in my mindset, the way that Montgomery kind of works at the lines, and we know he switches them up constantly. Who knows if that was just the last season thing or if this is going to continue. If it continues, I can see him being that Swiss Army knife kind of player, almost like a Brock Holt. Like, someone needs a night off. All right, Jones, you're sliding in. Beecher, you need a night off. Jones, you're taking that left side spot on the fourth line. Even say Geeky, you need a night off. All right, like, we'll slide Jones to that third line wing. I think he could fit in well with Freddie and Coyle, or vice versa, Coyle and Geeky. But as of right now, and the other thing too, if Lysell doesn't work out or he's struggling, then bump up Geeky to the second line right wing like you have him on the second line, and put Jones on the third, and just make it work. And I think we can trust Montgomery enough to know that he knows what works and what doesn't. And you'll probably see lines being switched up constantly in practice, see what works, see what doesn't. We already have a handful of guys who were here last year, so you kind of already know what works in that sense. But when you're talking about these new guys in integrating the youth, whether it's Lysell or Merkulov, or the new player in Jones, then you do that in practice, and then when the time comes during games, try it out, see what happens. There's no harm in trying.
Yeah, I like your lines a lot. I think the only thing that I would be a little worried about is that second line with Marchand, Patra, and Lysell.
Small and
'Cause
inexperienced.
yeah, that's the only thing. Even Marchand, I mean, he's still Brad Marchand, but he's gonna be turning 37.
Mhm.
And, Patra's coming off an injury, although they did say Patra gained like 10 pounds of muscle apparently. And then we don't know what we're gonna get with Lysell. But to your point, I mean, if that works, like if Patra takes another step, and if Lysell can kind of have the start to his career that Patra did, and like you said, it all starts in preseason. And if Marchand can continue to keep slowing down aging, I mean, that allows you the flexibility to have that third line that you have. Because that third line, who was it? Frederick Coyle and who else?
Geeky.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, that's that's a pretty loaded third line. So,
Yeah.
they were able to catch lightning in a bottle last year and getting what they got out of Patra. If they can do that 2 years in a row now with Lysell as well, I don't know. Look out, we got some good pieces.
Yeah, and don't forget Merkulov too. I mean, Merkulov has been a monster in the AHL. It's just kind of about translating that into the NHL.
Yeah,
I just think they're going to give Lysell a bigger look than Merkulov, to be honest with you.
yeah.
But defensive side, what are your pairs?
I was excited for this one. My first pairing is the I think it has the potential of being the best pairing in the NHL, and I would put Hampus Lindholm with Charlie McAvoy. I think
Mm.
they those are clearly your two best defensemen. Obviously, they've been split up the last couple seasons, but I think adding Zaborov gives you a different level of flexibility. Zaborov, I would not put him as a top line defenseman. I don't think his what?
Did you say Zaborov with a B?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
I heard it the first time and I wasn't gonna say anything, and then you said it the second time. Wait a minute.
Let's get it started. He's a Bruins now. He's a Bruin. He's Zaborov now.
Zaborov.
Sorry, Zadorov. I don't. He's not a top pairing kind of guy. I think he's too slow to be matched up with the other team's top line every single night. And I don't know how he would work with Charlie McAvoy, honestly. But Hampus Lindholm and Charlie McAvoy, I feel like would be a dynamic first line option. They're obviously good defensively in their own right. They're also great offensively. I think that would be an unbelievable pairing, a match made in heaven. I firmly believe that would be the best pairing in hockey. Put them together. First line pairing. Second line pairing, I have Zadorov with Brandon Carlo. And your first line pairing might be the best pairing in all of hockey. Your second line pairing would be the best defensive pairing in all of hockey because nobody's getting near the net. You got the corners locked down. I mean, Brandon Carlo is already one of the most underrated defensemen in the NHL. Especially talking about defense. I mean, the guy, he's far and away the Bruins' best defensive defenseman on this team. He's not going to fill up the point sheet. I think his career high, we mentioned before, was like 19 points, which is more than enough because this guy, I mean, he regularly takes the top assignment in the other team every night, and more often than not, he's able to shut them down. If you pair him with Nikita Zadorov, again, the 6'6 Russian, not only do you have a 6'6 guy and a 6'4 guy as your second pairing, but you have Zadorov, who does everything that Brandon Carlo maybe doesn't really have in his game. Brandon Carlo isn't the most physical guy. He's not the most dominant guy in the corner. He's not, necessarily going to manhandle people, but he uses his body well. Zadorov, screw that. He's gonna lay people out. He's gonna step up at the blue line. He's gonna destroy people in the corners. And I think that they're the perfect combination defensively. They will be so hard to play against, an actual nightmare to dump the puck in and to try to go fetch it in one of these guys' corners. And we saw how well Zadorov worked with Tyler Myers last year. Those two stilts, those two massive human beings. I think that would just be the perfect pairing to have them hop on the ice. Like imagine imagine you're on the other team and man, you can't get the puck past the red line. You can't dump and chase. You're getting your whole offensive game is getting stifled because McAvoy and Lindholm are just shutting you down. They get off the ice, and next thing you know, you got Zadorov and Carlos swinging their legs over the boards. I mean, talk about a gauntlet. That would suck to play against. So that would be my second pairing. And I really like Lindholm and Carlos together, but I don't know. I just really like kind of the yin and yang, the opposites of these first two pairings between the offense of McAvoy and Lindholm and the defense of Zadorov and Carlo. Third pairing is Lohrei and Peak. Lohrei's got to play. I mean, the guy you saw last year when he was in the lineup, he would make magic happen. He's definitely prone to his defensive mistakes, which is fine. The guy's been a forward for like 5 years. But I mean, what he brings to you offensively is second to none. I mean, this guy is going to be a future pillar of the defense of this team. He's got top 4 defensemen written all over him, and he's got to play. The Bruins were a better team last year when he was in the lineup, and next to him is Peak, and I mean, I would die for Andrew Peak. I mean, that guy is, man, he wears his heart in his sleeve. He's hard to play against as well. He's going to do whatever he can to help the team win. And on top of that, he's a pretty damn good defenseman. I think it's almost like what is the saying? Like the rich get richer, I guess. I don't know if that's the right phrase to use here, but I mean the Bruins defense is stacked. I mean Lohrei and Peak is a phenomenal duo, and to have them as your third line pairing, I think is honestly a little unfair. And on top of that, you got Wotherspoon too, who's more than capable of playing NHL minutes every single night. So those are my pairings: Lindholm, McAvoy, Zadorov, Carlo, Lohrei, Peak, with Wotherspoon as my 7th man.
Yeah, I like those. Even mentioning, so you were mentioning how like this defensive unit is just giant, and they're like just giant both in height and both weight too. I'll just go down the list really quick. Mason Lohrei 6'5", 211. Hampus Lindholm 6'5", 224. Nikita Zadorov 6'6", 248. Charlie McAvoy 6'1", 209. Brandon Carlo 6'5", 217. Andrew Peak 6'3", 214.
I mean, listen, my second pairing of Zadorov and Carlo, that's 13 feet of defenseman. That is a massive pairing.
It's insane. I honestly think that the Bruins have the best D-core in the league. Obviously, like on paper, that's easy to say. And we'll see how it translates to the ice, but I would say top 3 at least, and I say number 1.
Well, you know what's great too is we mentioned it last week too is how versatile they are defensively. Yep. I mean, all these guys bring something different. I mean, McAvoy is a total package in terms of he's a great defender and he's great offensively. Lindholm, in a way, I mean, he brings similar stuff that McAvoy does. I don't want to call him a poor man's McAvoy, but he's also very good defensively and offensively. Not to McAvoy's level, but he's an elite defenseman in his own right. Then you have Zadorov, who's, I mean, my God, I mean, he's the backbone of this defense. He's the guy who's going to get in people's faces. He's the guy who's going to defend his teammates. He's the guy who's going to knock people out. He's the guy who's going to put people through the glass. And on top of that, he's great defensively, but not as good as Brandon Carlo, who, in my opinion, is unequivocally one of the, if not the best defensive defenseman in the entire NHL. I mean, the guy can lock down anybody. He could lock down. No, it's going to be a shitty analogy, so forget it. But, I mean, he's really good defensively. And then on the flip side, you have Mason Lohrei, who's incredible offensively. And then Andrew Peak does a little bit of everything. So it's just, I mean, the quality of players you have here defensively and what each of them brings to the table is so different. And I think that's what makes this defensive group so good. And I agree with you. I think it's what makes them the best defensive group of the game.
Yeah. So my pairings, and I'll explain my reasoning. First line, I have Nikita Zadorov and Charlie McAvoy. I think McAvoy is shifty enough and quick enough on his feet that he can not exactly rescue Zadorov if he ever finds himself flat-footed. But, I mean, if you have those two anchoring the blue line on your first line, McAvoy being that, transitional kind of defenseman, you can get the play going, you can move the puck up the ice. Zadorov can be that anchor and hang back a little bit. I think that'll benefit McAvoy and his game as a whole. Although I did have a hard time not moving Lindholm up and Zadorov down with Carlo for all of the same reasons you mentioned. I just think Lindholm and Carlo together. I mean, analytically, consistently since Lindholm has come here, they've been one of the best pairings in the league based on the analytics. So it's kind of, I think you could switch it. And like you said, Zadorov and Carlo could just be your shutdown pair, and like nobody's getting through that. But I think if you're looking to balance out the lines on the blue line, I think you keep Lindholm and Carlo and you move Zadorov up with McAvoy. And talk about, I mean, a world of difference for McAvoy. He was with Matt Grzelcyk for the past 5-6 years, however many years they've been together. It's like, you know, going from a leprechaun to like Sasquatch as your partner. Crazy. But yeah, so then I have Lindholm and Carlo, and then Lohrei and Peak as well on the bottom pairing. I mean, either any way that you switch this lineup, it is such a good decor. I don't think you can go wrong anyway. I mean, if Zadorov, starts to slouch a little bit with McAvoy, then slide Lindholm up there and put him with Carlo, and I think he'll be fine. Just like you said. And your pairings, if that's how they opened it up on opening night, I'd be very happy. If they opened it up like this too, I think I'd be happy as well. If they opened it up anyway with these 6 guys, I find it hard to be unhappy. I mean, you got Lohrei, the coming into his second full season on the blue line on your third pair with Andrew Peak. I think that works. You can put him on the power play. Obviously, Zadorov is going to go on the PK. He's going to be a big help there. But one of the things that I'm most excited about Zadorov is that his physicality and the way, like his brand of defense and the way that he plays is going to rub off on other guys. I wouldn't be surprised if you see hit totals, like career high hit totals for guys like Carlo, a guy like Peak, a guy like McAvoy. Maybe not Lindholm just because he's not a physical player in his own right, and that's fine. You don't need to be, especially when you have a unit like this. But that's one of the things that I'm most excited about Zadorov, is that he's going to bring that style of play into the Bruins, DNA, and it's going to rub off on everybody else. And then not even to mention, his physical play, but also to jump back to the forward group, Kostelic, Brazeau, Freddie, Coyle even. I mean, they're all going to hit, and it's his physicality is going to rub off on everybody else. So that's my deep pairings, and I assume we both have the same goaltending duo.
That's right, baby. Korpisalo and Bussy.
Yep, the Corpa Bussy. Corpussy.
What?
Whoa. One more time.
Did you hear about Swayman and how he chose to not take the Bruins to arbitration, and the Bruins also obliged?
Yes. So, I mean,
makes me feel good.
It does make me feel good. That means they're talking. They're having conversations. I think it's just a matter of time before they sign him. I'm just worried it's going to be another short-term deal. It's going to be like 2 years, $4 million. And if that's
God,
then like,
yeah, if they give him another bridge deal, Jesus Christ.
Like,
let's go 1-1. We'll give you a player option for the second year.
Yeah. 1 by 1, you get an extra $50K for every shutout you have.
Yeah. Oh my God. Watch him get 45 shutouts.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I'm going to switch up really quick on you, but I don't know if you listen to the Section 10 podcast. But like the player interviews that they do, or when they have players mic'd up, they get paid for that.
Do they?
Guess how much they get paid? So, like, say an inning from Tanner Houck in the dugout, or however long it takes for them to get to a commercial.
$5,000.
$10K.
Really?
You get $10,000.
Shit, man. They could mic me up at work for $100 if they wanted to.
I would do it. I'd do it for $10.
They just hear a lot of crying.
I would do it for lunch, dude. I would
honestly. I'd do it for free. I think it'd be kind of fun.
I would do.
But they do lead to some great moments. I know. I remember when Tristan Cassis. Yeah, I remember when Mookie Betts had it when he was still in the Sox. Damn. That hurt to say that. And he was out there in right field, and they asked him a question, and I think it was in the preseason, and somebody hit like a fly ball to right field, and he was in the middle of answering it, and he started running. You can hear like his chains bouncing while he's running to get the ball. He's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna get this one, boys.
Yeah,
And he couldn't get to the ball in time, and it dropped in.
it does lead to good moments. But
If
yeah, I
they,
thought
if they, I mean, they basically, sorry, they basically do that for behind the B. How some of the players are mic'd up, and like, I would imagine, like, they could take an hour worth of. I mean, it's, you know, 60 minutes worth of hockey. If you were to mic up a player, you would get maybe 5 minutes worth of audio you could use that isn't gonna be bleeped out the entire
yeah,
time with everything that they're saying.
and they still have to bleep it out too. It's honestly
Yeah.
they probably get paid nothing. They're like, yeah, I'll do it. Why not?
My favorite was always the Claude Giroux ones. Whenever he's chirping people.
Oh yeah.
Who was that?
Ooh.
Like Matt? Was it like Matt Murray or something? Go dye your hair. The guy from the Islanders.
It might have been. I don't
I'm not
remember.
gonna be able to remember that.
I remember. I think it was who did he call a pigeon? And then he started hooing at him or
Yeah,
cooing.
there was the
Oh,
man.
Hartnell. It was Hartnell. He said it to Hartnell. That's what it was.
No, they were
Oh
teammates.
no, they were on the same team.
No, it was the guy, the ugly looking guy with the long hair. He was on the Islanders,
Yeah, I don't remember.
and then
I
he
don't.
like sat down and got up and was like, "Go dye your hair."
Yeah, yeah.
You've been in the minors
Um,
longer than me.
yeah, you've been in the yeah, you've been in the minors longer than me, you dumb fuck. Go dye your hair. But anyway, so that's our lineups, and I did ask for something on Twitter today that I thought would be fun, a fun little segment. So I said to drop your hottest take on the team, and we'll award the spiciest take with a special award during the episode. So, what is it? Is it the Skull meter when it's like? Is that what it is? That ranks
Scoville.
Scoville, the Scoville. All right. So we're gonna rank each take 1 to 10, 10 being the hottest on the Scoville meter, and 1 being ice cold. We'll do
Okay.
0 being ice cold. But anyways, introducing the hot take segment
Ooh.
from Twitter. The hottest takes from you guys on the old tweet machine, coming in hot, no pun intended, with over 40 replies. Over 40 replies. So what we're gonna have to do with this is go quick. We'll give a
Okay.
little thought, but we're gonna rank it 0 being ice cold and 10 being a hot take, and then if time allows, we'll dive into it. We won't get too deep because, like I said, we have over 40 of these, but we'll go through them 0 to 10, and we'll start with this one. This comes in from Jack. He said, goalie Bob to once again work his magic as the guru of the gloves, the sensei of the sticks, and the boss of the blocker to turn his latest Padawan of the pads, Corpusalo, into such a wall that Sapisalo tandem is possible.
Is that Jack from across the pond?
That is Jack from across
I knew
the
it.
pond.
As soon as I heard those analogies and those adjectives, it had to have been. Honestly, I'm putting that at a 7. I like that. That's a hot take. I like it.
Hang on, talk about that one a little bit. I have to plug my computer in before it does.
All right. No, I mean, we've already seen what goalie Bob has done with every goalie that's come here. I mean, he revitalized Tim Thomas's career. Tuukka Rask has been pretty outspoken about how big goalie Bob was on his career. Little Linus Omark, he's now gone and flown the coop. But I mean, he came here from Buffalo, and we all saw how good he was. And Jeremy Swayman has been very outspoken about how much goalie Bob has impacted his career. And I would have to think that when the Bruins traded for Corpusalo, there was at least some input from goalie Bob, and maybe it'll be another one of those, just another piece of clay he's going to mold into a beautiful piece of art. So I like it. I'm honestly aboard that take. So I wouldn't put it as a 10 because I've seen people with similar takes, but I'm gonna put it at a 7. I think that's a good take from Jack. I like it.
I like it too. I like his analogies with goalie coach Bob. I'm gonna put it at a 5. I'm gonna say a 5 on the Scoville.
Okay.
Next one comes in from Bobby Brewski. He said, Lauko scores 20 with the Wild this year.
Oh, 3. I think that's pretty cold. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, 10 being hot. So like 10 is the most unlikely.
Oh,
0
true.
yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
that's my fault. I confused that
Jack,
a little bit.
I don't give you a 7. I give you a 3, which is the equivalent. And then that take from Bobby, I'll give that an 8. I'll give it an 8. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna get 12, let alone 20.
Yeah, right now, daily faceoff has Jacob Lauko on the 4th line with Frederick Gaudreau and Yakov Trenin. I can see him getting double digits. 20 is, I mean, 20 is hot. 20
Yeah, that's pretty absurd.
Yeah, I'm
but
gonna put that at a 7. That's a hot take.
yeah, that's pretty hot. The only reason I don't have it as a 10 is because I mean injuries happen. Maybe he could slide up and down the line and get a better opportunity. But I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, unless he's just tipping every single shot home, I don't think he's gonna hit double digits, let alone 20.
Also, I feel like 10 should be reserved for like a holy shit. Like that
Yeah, that is the
every-
worst take I've ever heard.
honestly. So
Marcus Sturm is gonna come out of retirement and play for. That's a 10.
Zdeno Chara is coming back out, and he's gonna prepare this Zadorov. So shout out Bobby. This one comes in from Jason. He said Corpusalo under 2.25 goals allowed average on 30-ish games. Book it. That's hot. That's spicy.
Pretty hot.
That's spicy.
Wait. He's gonna play 30 games.
30-ish games, less than 2.25 goals against.
6.
I'm putting that in an 8.
I'm putting it at a 6 because that's the level of faith I have in goalie Bob, tuning this guy up. 2.25 and 30 something games is, I mean, he's never even come close to sniffing that. But if he's ever going to, it's going to be in this opportunity that he's in right now. So I'll give that a 6.
Okay. This one comes in from George, and fair warning, this is hot.
Oh, brother. Let's hear it.
Marchand and Carlo get traded for
10.
Matthew Tkachuk.
10.
This is like a 12.
10.
This is like a
10.
12.
That's not
this
even.
Hot.
Let's be serious here. Come on.
It's so hot. The ice is melting. The boys are swimming.
First of all, Florida would never do that trade. And second of all, the Bruins can never trade Marchand. So that's one of those deals that just isn't even worth having it pop into your head because it's never going to happen. That's a 10.
I will say, though, the harder the take, the more I like it. And
yeah,
I know this will never happen, but like that's a hot take. That's a 12 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10. That one came in from George. This one comes in from Nick. He said Bruins beat the Panthers in the second round of the playoffs this upcoming season, with Elias Lindholm being the top point producer.
Ooh.
I can see it happening.
I'll put it at a 5. Yeah.
I'm going to put that at a 3. Yeah, I'm going to put that at a 3.
I'm going to put it at a 5. Just because Bruins have now been knocked out of playoffs 2 years ago by 2 years in a row by Florida, and I want them to beat Florida more than anything. So I don't know. I'm gonna put it at a 5.
Yeah, I think 5-3 on the lower scale of the score.
I was trying to come up with an explanation as to why 5 was fitting, and I don't know. I just feel like it's a 5.
Mel.
Oh, brother,
we got a hot one here. This comes in from Jeff W. Jeff W. Not George W. Jeff W.
Now watch this drive.
Hot take. Patra has more games in Providence than he does in Boston.
Oh man, that's a 9 right there. Not happening. The only reason I don't give it a 10 is maybe there's an injury. Maybe he gets injured in game 2 and he comes back game 78 and he just got to get a quick couple games under his belt in Providence. That's the only way that's going to happen. That's a 9 right there.
Yeah. I've seen people saying that he should start in Providence. And to me, I say,
you're crazy. Yeah.
No way. I have his jersey hanging up right there. He can't.
There's not a shot in hell he's going to be starting the season in Providence.
I give it an 8. That's an 8 on the Scoville. That's hot.
Yeah,
that's like me taking off my shirt. I'm sweating a little bit. I'm starting to feel heat. I'm
beating some sweat on my forehead.
Yeah. I got like the cooling towel around my neck. It's starting to get hot. So that one came in from Jeff W. And this one comes in from Chris Green. He said, Geeky finishes the year second on the team in goals, Bruins trade Patra. What is this Patra talk right now? What is this?
When he said Geeky finished his second, take a breath. When he said Geeky finishes second on the team in goals, I was like 8. That's an 8. Not happening. And then he added on to that and said Poitras gets traded. That's a 9, my friend. Terrible take. That is steaming hot. That is on fire. No. Terrible take is the wrong word. That was a hot take. I hope that the first half comes right.
I was gonna say, because it's not like it's the segment's not like take accuracy. It's like how hot.
Yeah. No, that's my fault. That's a steaming hot take.
That's a steamy take.
Steamy take.
So that came in from Chris Green. This one comes in from Birdie Ryan. He said Bruins will play on ice.
We found our first 0.
Zero.
We found opposite sides of the scale here between the last two.
That's literally ice cold. Bad joke. You deserve that one. Yeah, that's on me. Bad joke. This next one comes in from Nathan Rowe. He said they trade Geeky before camp. I'm gonna put it.
No, you can go first.
I was gonna say I'm gonna put it at a 5 because if you're looking at the lineup, like we were kind of going through our lineups, we have a lot of these bottom 6 guys, and Geeky, I believe he only has 1 year left on his deal until he's a free agent. He'll need a new contract. If you can get something for Geeky, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to pulling the trigger. So I'll put that at a 5, maybe a 4.
I'm gonna put it at a 6.
Okay.
I do think he's a very tradable piece, but he's a righty, and he's like one of the very few right-handed shots in this bottom 9 that they do have. And they already have one hole that they're trying to fill, that second line right wing position by any means necessary. And if you remove Geeky from the equation, now there's 2 holes you're trying to fill potentially. So I could see him getting traded because I think he's a very tradable player in contract, like you said, and he's still only like 26. But I don't think it's going to happen. So I'll give that a 6.
All right. This is coming in from What's Bruin.
Hey,
Jonas Korpisalo will have better stats in Boston than Linus Ullmark does in Ottawa.
Wait, no. Do you have a round of applause button? That's a good one. Hit that one. That's a good one.
Actually, you know what? Hang on. Let me try this one. This one's cheering.
I like it.
I like that.
I'm gonna put that at a 7. I like
7?
it. I like it. Yeah.
That's
gonna be fun to watch this year.
Yeah, that is gonna. I didn't even think of that, honestly, and I'm gonna put that at an 8. That's gonna be an interesting one to watch. I actually really, really, really like that take.
Yeah. Wow, yeah. I'm gonna be watching that all year now. I hadn't even considered.
Yeah, you know what? Another round of applause for that one. That was a great take. Great one for this segment. Again, that's What's Bruin at What's Bruin blog. This one comes in from Bruins. They said the return from. Yeah, it's actually the verified account. It's the actual team account. They said the return from Ullmark was a lot closer to fair value than people think. That is for sure coming from Don Sweeney himself. That's Don Sweeney's burner. I stand by that.
Honestly, I'm gonna put it at a 5.
Out of 5?
Out of 5 because Linus Ullmark, I mean, he was unbelievable in Boston, but we have been saying now for the last 3 seasons that the Bruins have the best defensive unit in all of hockey. Not even just defensive, like defensemen, but forwards too. They have an unbelievable defensive structure. They are built to support their goalies. He had the best goalie coach in hockey in Boston. So now that that's gone, not even just the system, but the coach, the defensive unit, everything is gone. He's playing in Ottawa, which is a dumpster fire for goalies. His numbers are definitely going to go down. I just don't know how far they're going to go. But the thing for me is the player that the Bruins took with that draft pick. that 6'7" behemoth of a man from St. Andrews going to BC. If he turns into a serious player, the Bruins could be the winners in this trade. We don't know. But we're not going to have the answer to that question for another handful of years here. So I will put it at a 5.
Yep. All the same reasons you just said. We'll see how it plays out. But it could be 50-50. So that's a 5 on the Scoville.
Oh, yeah. Just a little
so
spicy.
That was Don Sweeney. Don Sweeney's burner.
Yeah, thanks, Donnie.
Thanks, Don, for the question or the take. This one comes in from John Mahoney. He said, officially have a moment of silence on any and all Brady Tkachuk rumors. They would have never traded him within the division, and half of the people clamoring for him never mentioned his name until his brother came into the Eastern Conference.
What's the take?
I don't think there is a take, but for that, there's no take, so it's got to be a 0, right?
I guess, technically. And to be fair, I didn't think the Bruins were going to be trading Linus Ullmark within the division, let alone the Senators trading Brady Tkachuk within the division. And there were written reports from people who get paid a lot of money to do it, who were saying that there's a potential that Ottawa could be moving Brady Tkachuk. Now that the trade went down and we saw what the Bruins got for Linus Ullmark, it seems a little silly. You shoot for the star. They say you shoot for the stars, you miss, you land on the moon. The Bruins shot for the stars and they missed and landed in the ocean. Like, it wasn't even close to what we thought they were going to get for Ullmark. So, egg on their face with that one. But
they're just drifting off into space right now. They're still floating.
Yeah. My God, we didn't even make it off the launch pad. we're stuck in traffic on the way to the rocket.
Yeah, we missed the launch.
Yeah.
But Ullmark got on the ship. Ullmark got on the ship, but the rest of the team missed it.
Yeah, and the ship wasn't going to the moon; it was going to Ottawa.
Yeah, it was actually really just a private plane. It was, so that one came in from John Mahoney. This one's coming in from Jason Greenaw. He said, while McAvoy and Pasta are the heart and soul behind Marchand, I do believe Charlie Coyle should be highly considered for captain when the time comes for 63 to hang him up. I say 7. I think you can't go with another guy who's going to be leaving soon. I think your next captain has to be a guy who's cemented in Boston, and that's why I believe Nikita Zadorov is the next captain of the Boston Bruins. No, I'm kidding. It's probably McAvoy.
Or Carlo. Let me ask you this: you think Carlo's gonna be next captain?
I think he could be. I think people aren't giving him enough consideration.
I think ideal Marchand retires. I think McAvoy should get the C. I think he needs to be the player the Bruins need him to be in the playoffs. That's the only thing that he's missing. He has not been good the last couple seasons in the playoffs. He just hasn't. You want your captain to step up, answer the call, to be the guy to lead your players in a battle. Bergeron did that. Char did that. Marchand did that this year. There were times when Marchand literally put this team on his back and willed them to victory. Yeah. And one of the players he had to put on his back was Charlie McAvoy because he was brutal at points during the playoffs. You can't have that from your captain. That's the only thing that I'm like, man, I don't know. But I think despite all that, I think McAvoy's your captain. Well, you have 3 assistant captains, right?
2.
I give it to...
Right?
We'll say when Chara had it, it was Bergeron and Krejci.
Yeah, so 2. It's a captain and then 2 assistants.
Okay. I would give the A's to... I like Carlo with an A, and you need a forward. Oh, man. Elias Lindholm, I feel like could get an A, but would that be disrespectful to Pasta? Probably. So I would give it to Pasta. Yeah, so I give it to Pasta.
I think like you said, McAvoy will get the captaincy, and then I think Carlo gets an A and Pasta gets an A.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
I like that.
So that was from Jason. This next one comes in from Matt K. He said, Linus Ullmark takes a massive mud pie on Don Sweeney's desk in his return to Boston.
Honestly, 2. I think it's happening.
Yeah, the odds on DraftKings for that happening is like minus 350. Like,
yeah, it's a near lock. Build your parlay around that happening.
You know what though, Linus Ullmark, he would be sneaky about it. He wouldn't just waltz up there and drop his pants and drop a load on his desk. He would like put it in an envelope and mail it to Causeway Street.
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like he would just walk in and drop a load.
You think so?
Yeah, and like a dog and like rub his ass on the carpet or something.
I'm just picturing it. Like this is
Oh,
picturing.
Linus, what are you doing here? Oh,
He's
nothing.
yeah. Don Sweeney opens the door like to a dark office and he turns the lights on. Allmark is just, oh Don, I didn't see you there.
Oh, I came back to say hi. By the way, can you grab me the paper towels over there in the corner?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a 0. That's happening.
Picture that in your head. Oh my god.
So next one comes in from New KC Recap. He said Coyle goes off a line. Oh, sorry. Coyle goes off on a line with Frederick, having more points than Lindholm. Elias Lindholm. What?
I'm gonna put it at 7. I just with Lindholm playing with Pasta, I think he's really gonna pop off this year. I think you're gonna see more of the 2018 Lindholm when he had like 90 points than the Lindholm you've seen the last couple seasons.
Yeah, and he'll be on the power play unit too. So I'm gonna say that's an 8 on the Scoville for me. Yeah.
I think there's thunder outside right now.
I got game 4 of the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals on the TV right now.
Oh my god, you were ready to record tonight.
Dude. Well, I don't know if you were looking at my face, but I was like making facial reactions because I also had games 2 and 3 playing. So now
don't spoil it. I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
I have it recorded. It's on the DVR.
Yeah, third period, 16 minutes left. There's another one. That's another one. All right. Next question comes in from The Vibes. They said Bruins miss the playoffs and are stuck with Lindholm and Zadorov's contract. Coming from a Flames fan, by the way.
Oh, okay. That's all you had to say. 8. Bruins are too. This roster is too talented to miss the playoffs, and I think Lindholm and Zadorov are going to be just fine.
Yeah. Cap going up. Lindholm making 775. That's nothing really in terms of what he's going to be asked to do. And Zadorov at $5 million is a good contract as well. So yeah, I'm going to put that at 10. You're not going to come in. You're not going to come into our building and shit on my guy Nikita Zadorov. That's just not going to happen. Not happening. Nope. So next one comes in from Nathan. He said, I think Korpisalo has a resurgence year and our goalie tandem becomes almost as good as last year. 5.
5.
Xavier Liska, whoever makes the team between Bussy and Korpisalo, my money is on Korpisalo, is going to pop off this year and provide a better anticipated backup option in goal. That's 2 in a row. That said that
5.
Yeah. So a lot of hope here right now in these mentions for Korpisalo. But
I don't know if it's hope in Korpisalo or hope in goalie Bob.
I think it's goalie Bob.
I think it is too.
Next one comes in from Byron Bits' burner.
Oh wow!
There's
blast from the past.
No person has a Byron Bits burner. This is Byron Bits for sure. Nobody has a
we've had Byron Bits and Don Sweeney sending their own hot takes today.
just give us a call yourselves, guys. We're very welcoming. So Byron Bits says they're going to finally break through Florida and make it back to the finals, only to heartbreakingly lose to McDavid on his revenge step. You can't put the Bruins in the finals for them to lose, Byron Bits.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
I'm going to have to give you a 7 on that one.
It is a hot take having this team go to the finals. I'm going to say an 8.
Yeah, honestly.
So thank you, Byron Bits. This one comes in from Connor Cowan. He said that they signed Daniel Sprong, and he single-handedly puts up 60 to 75 points on the second line.
6.
Yeah, I'll say 6 as well. Daniel Sprong, interesting though. This one made me laugh. This was one of the first ones that came in. This is coming in from Hockey B400. You know the meme from To Kill a Mockingbird of the guy standing up in the jury, and it's like,
yeah.
He said, the loss of DeBrusk is overblown, and the subtraction directly allowed us to acquire the center we needed more, and the D-man fans have been clamoring for. He is a career 40-point guy and openly didn't want to leave. openly didn't want to leave. Lysell will replace his role within 1 season. Not gonna lie to you, Mel. I got this one sitting at a 4. I like this take.
I'm kind of thinking about it too. I thought, I mean, you played the fire thing. I thought this was going to be disastrous, and you kept reading it. And I was like, I don't know. I kind of like it.
I regret playing the fire because I kind of side with this take a little
Yeah,
bit.
like, I don't know. It's kind of moving me right now.
It is hot though. It is a hot take because there's a lot of people that would disagree.
Yeah. Well, I think the big thing for DeBrusque too, everybody talks about the point production and 40 points, blah, blah. He's great defensively too. He's a really good two-way player, and you're never going to get that with Fabian Lysell. Offensively, maybe he could match what DeBrusque did, especially last year. Maybe he can kind of pick up the pace and give you the production that you just lost, but he's never going to be the two-way player that DeBrusque was. But despite that, I don't know. I'm kind of backing him on this one. I think I might give him a 4 too. I might side with you on this one.
Should Photoshop ourselves in that picture of us standing up in the jury as well. Like, yeah, I agree.
We're in the stance. Yeah,
yeah, waving the towel.
Lysell jerseys. Yeah.
the towel that we're waving is just an old DeBrusque jersey.
Yeah.
So shout out to Hockey B400. This one comes in from Len Berkowitz. The Bruins are top heavy on defense and need a scorer. Time to shop defensemen and see if you can get a 30 to 35 goal scorer. I don't think you have to. I think the old saying championships, or defense wins championships. Bruins culture forever has been built on their back end. And I think you're kind of getting back to what Bruins hockey really truly means. And that's just like hard-nosed, gritty, get these win kind of games.
I mean, the Bruins do have the depth, though, defensively, if they wanted to make a big move.
They do.
You're not going to be able to trade Wotherspoon for a 35 to 40 goal scorer, but if somebody was calling for, there's a really bad Carlo mock trade that's been drifting around Twitter recently.
I hate that. I hate
it too. Done. We don't have to address it. That we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Like if the move was right and you could trade a guy for a 35 to 40 goal scorer, I don't know. I do it, but I agree with you though. Bruins always been built through their defense, especially defensively. The big bad Bruins. It feels like we're finally back. You got a monstrous defensive core, and I really don't want to touch it. So
7.
Yeah, 7.
This one comes in from V. Elias Lindholm will finish the season with 70 points. I put that at a 2. I think that's.
I'm gonna put that at a 5 because I think he's gonna get more than that.
Oh yeah. I think he's gonna put up at least 80.
You know what? I'm gonna put Elias Lindholm at 86 points this year.
I was gonna say 87. So hell yeah.
Whoa! Write it down.
Jot it down. Clip it. Next one comes in from Brady. Merkulov has a massive year and ends up leading the team in points. Unfortunately, he's the only one that does anything, and the Bruins miss the playoffs.
10.
That's a 10. That's a
10. That's absurd.
That was already an 8. That was already an 8 with the Merkulov.
That's a smoking hot take.
Yeah, that's a 10 for me. This one comes in from Mackenzie73. They should trade Hampus Lindholm, who is god-awful playoff performer, and try to get some more scoring depth. You do have Wotherspoon. You do have Wotherspoon.
I would trade Hampus Lindholm for the right move, but I wouldn't preface it around this guy is god awful. Let's get him off our team. He's the second best defenseman you have. Yeah. He's an elite defenseman. Again, if you can, like when we were just talking about, if you could trade a guy like Hampus Lindholm or anybody else for a 35 to 40 goal scorer who is young, who has some contract years left, yeah, I would look at it. I would do it depending on who the player is, but I'm not calling teams saying, give me whoever you have for Hampus Lindholm because this guy sucks. That's absurd. I think that's a pretty hot take. I'm going to put it at a 9.
Yeah, I'll put it at an 8. But even I'm looking at the pairings right now. I mean, your left side's Zadorov, Lindholm, Lohrei. If you did trade Lindholm, you could go, say, Lohrei, McAvoy, Zadorov, Carlo, Wotherspoon, and Peak. Still pretty good unit. Still a pretty good unit.
But I think people are more thunder. I think people are underestimating, undervaluing Hampus Lindholm. He came in here 2 years ago. He finished 4th in the Norris race. Last year, he didn't have to do as much. He took a step back offensively. he was still a monster. He's still an elite defenseman, and he's a huge part of your core four. He's one of the reasons that you're as deep as you are. To have a guy like that as your second pairing for the last 2 years, how unbelievably blessed you are. And if you were to trade him and you were to bump up Lorai, a guy who we've already said is a bit of a turnstile defensively. He's got his struggles defensively, and you're going to work with him and hope he can figure it out. But if you're pushing for a cup this season, like you should be every single season, Lindholm is gone. Lorai's your second line guy, and like I love Zadorov, but he's been a bottom pairing guy his entire career, and I think that I really liked what I saw from him in Vancouver. He was good in Calgary. He was great in the playoffs, and I'm hopeful that he's going to be a mainstay in the top four. But he's never been a top pairing guy in his entire career, so it's not like Campus Lindholms grow on trees. And like, especially Bruins fans too. I mean, you can name any guy on this roster. The minute they have a bad week of games, let's trade him. Send him to Providence. I mean, we were saying last year, they were saying to send Swayman down to Providence because he had a tough week. And here we are now. People are saying that Hampus Lindholm sucks because instead of being the fourth best defenseman in the league, he was like the 12th.
They were saying after Pasternak's shootout attempt last year, Felger went on 98.5. Felger Mavs. He goes on the morning show and he says that the Bruins should suspend Pasternak for his shootout attempt. And like, I don't understand. I never will ever understand how people take him seriously.
Which was unbelievable because Pasta did the exact same shootout move about a week prior, and it was disgusting. It was everywhere. It was so gross. And I promise you, the guy who had 64 goals last year knows more about scoring the puck than Mike Felger does.
I don't know. I heard Felger's a sniper.
Yeah. Oh God. I can't. We gotta find the right button for the soundboard for whenever we have like a 98.5 like
a 98.5 take.
Yeah.
It's just like the tail end of like the Sports Hub.
Yeah. 98, the little jingle. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
617-779-0985.
Oh my God. Those guys, dude.
But anyway, shout out Mackenzie. This next one comes in from Daniel McKay. He said, in the first meeting of the two teams, Zadorov gets a 3+ game suspension for delivering a very dirty but equally devastating hit on his former teammate, Matthew Tkachuk.
Is that a gun?
This is Zadorov on Tkachuk.
An AK.
This is Zadorov on Tkachuk.
Ow! Ow!
Did you program gun noises in there? We're a Bruins podcast.
No, this one came in on the soundboard. It was already pre-programmed.
Oh my God. I'm putting it at a 0. I think it's a lock. It's got to happen.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, this is
the thought of Zadorov's first game as a Boston Bruin, he received a 3-game suspension, is hilarious. That is.
That is. I didn't even think of something like. I never thought of a scenario like that. But he would instantly. Excuse me. He would instantly just cement himself as like a legend in game one.
Oh my God, that would be so funny.
Just mashes Tkachuk.
Oh God. I like to think that you recorded that yourself, like slapping your thigh.
yeah.
And you did it like 40 times. You got to get the right look. Your thigh's like bleeding. It's so red. You got a cane tomorrow.
It's red.
What happened? Well, I was recording a sound for the soundboard. I was slapping my leg over and over again.
And I just couldn't get the sound right. I
had to get the right pitch. Oh my God.
Shout out Daniel, that was awesome. The next one comes in from Bryston Boy. Ooh. Korpisalo scores 2 goals this coming season.
9.
10. 10.
That's pretty steamy.
If he scores before Swayman wants it so bad.
Yeah.
Next one comes in from Kobe. He said Lysell will get the 2 right wing and score 30 goals. Sorry.
Boo. Hit the boo button.
This is on
For nobody watching, when you did Kobe, you stuck your hand up like you were shooting a little basketball.
I know.
Lysell getting the second line wing. I don't think it's too steamy of a take. Lysell getting 30 goals, unfortunately, I think I'm going to put that at a 7.
I'll put that at a 7 as well. I think 30 goals is a big task, but I mean, Kobe, I would love to see it. Kobe. Next one comes in from Teddy. Oh no, he just said, shout out Teddy. He just said, just downloaded and subscribed. Let's get it.
Oh, hell yeah, Teddy.
Let's go, Teddy! Wow. Yeah, Teddy! Oh. That's for you, Teddy. You
Quite
get
the time.
Ever Zombie Nation soundboard click. That's for you, Teddy.
Quite the time for Teddy to hop on board when we just got a soundboard.
Yeah, I know.
Don't even bother listening to the previous 98 episodes. Didn't have a soundboard yet.
Yeah, 98 episodes before was me pulling up YouTube and taking 30 seconds to get a sound on. Now I have it at the touch of a button. It's dangerous.
This is dangerous. Oh, God.
So the next question, or the next take, this comes in from Mike Jamezuski. He said, Trent Frederick breakout year coming. 30 goals.
Ooh, honestly, 6.
I'm going to say 7.
The only thing that I think makes that steamy is I think he's going to get third line minutes this year.
Yes.
And you just don't get 30 goals on the third line. If he becomes like an every game second line player, sneaky possibility. I just don't think he's going to get those minutes.
I think he can get somewhere between 20 and 25. I think that's doable for him this year.
I think he's going to hit 20 low. I think he's going to hit low 20s.
Yeah, like 20.
What did he have last year?
19, I want to say. I think he was 1 away from 20.
Oh.
This is testing my knowledge off the dome. Let's see if I was right.
I think he's capable.
Are you looking up the goal total?
Oh, no. Sorry, you want me to?
Yeah. I didn't say it because I saw you I saw you grab your phone. I just assumed.
I was checking. I'm currently in a battle right now in Supremacy. I was just looking to see if I lost any ground real quick. Trent Frederick.
Yeah, I think it was 19. I think he was 1 away from 20.
Knock, knock, knocking on 20 goals. He had oh my God. He had 18 last year, 17 the year before. He's getting close.
Why does anybody listen to me? I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine.
So that was Mike Jamuski. This one comes in from Maddie Bacon, Baken, not Bacon the pig. He said, by mid-season, we have developed a scoring, forechecking third line of Freddie, Poitras, and Lysell. I actually like the sound of that line. Mid-season, if they can round out their games and be reliable, I like the sound of that. I'm going to say 5.
I'm going to give it a 5 as well.
Ooh. This one comes in from Dylan. He said Mason Lohrei leads all defensemen in goals with 21.
Whoa.
That's a high total.
Here's the thing. Same thing I said for Trent Frederick. I think he's got the tools in the toolbox. It's a hot take. I don't think it's terribly hot, but if he's your third line paired defenseman, which he's gonna be, I just don't think he's gonna get the minutes to even have a chance to hit 12, let alone 20. So I'm gonna put that at a 7.
7.
But if Mason Lohrei, like 3 to 4 years from now, he's 26, 27. He's your first line top pairing, left side defenseman playing with McAvoy. Could potentially be a 20-goal guy.
Could be. He could be.
Could be.
With power play time. With power play time.
Oh, let's get crazy.
I mean, I want to say anything, but it's possible.
It's possible. Anything's possible. Sorry.
Oh, next one comes in from Cam Crockett. He said Max Jones will win 7th player award. No one is talking about this pickup or even putting him in the lineup. He's going to have an underrated season. Also, Zacha has the best year of his career. Honestly, I like that take. I like that take a lot. I love Max Jones. I think on last episode we both said we really like the signing. It's going to be like a sneaky good pickup from Don. 2 years, $1 million. I'm going to put that at a 4. I like that. I like that take.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna put out a 3. I really like Max Jones, the players. We've seen 7th player awards. They don't go to the best, most skilled player. They don't go to the guy who has the most hits. They go to the guy that the fans fall in love with. And I think Max Jones can be that guy.
Yep. Shout out Cam. That was good. Next one comes in from Nick Knowles. He said Trent Frederick wins the second line right wing role and scores 25 goals and 25 assists for 50 points. He becomes a player the Bruins want to extend long term 6 to 8 years.
5. I could see it.
I'm going to say 6 just because I don't think he's going to take that second line wing spot. I can see 50 points though. I can see 50 points.
If he's popping off in that third line,
yeah,
I could see him get a little bump up.
Yeah, like even if he doesn't get bumped up to that second spot, though, I still think 50 points is manageable with Coyle and whoever else he plays with.
Is Coyle a lefty?
Coyle, I believe, is a lefty. Let me look it up.
Yeah, that'd be the only thing. If he were to get bumped up to that second line, I mean, you'd have 3 lefties between him, Coyle, and Marchand.
Charlie Coyle is a. He's a righty again.
Oh, okay. All right, then it works. No, if he gets second line, right wing minutes, I think he could get 25 goals. And I think everything else he brings, all his other intangibles, I think that the Bruins would. I don't know about 8 years, but 6 years, I could see that the Bruins, starting contract talks around there.
Yeah. All right. So that was Nick. This one comes in from Darby Dingles. Shout out Darby Dingles. They said halfway through the year, the Lindholms switch positions. Hampus wins the Selke and Elias wins the Norris. Then the Bruins win 16 straight playoff games on a lights out playoff performance by Korpisalo, which they successfully flipped Corp to Toronto in exchange for Austin Matthews.
Listen. You had me all the way until you said lights out play by Korpisalo, so I'm going to give that a 1. Otherwise, everything else I think is a lock.
Yeah, I mean...
And I would want a little more than Austin Matthews if you're trading them Korpisalo.
Yeah, you would have to assume if you flip Korpisalo for Austin Matthews, I mean, it's not going to be 1-for-1. Korpisalo has far too much value. It would probably be... I mean, they're trying to offload Mitch Marner. I don't really want Mitch Marner, though, as a part of the Korpisalo trade to Toronto. I think, honestly, you would trade Korpisalo for Matthews and maybe, like...
What about a Tim Hortons?
Who?
A Tim Hortons?
A Tim Hortons? Like a lifetime membership? A gold card?
Literally just like a single store.
Oh, a franchise? You want a franchise?
Yes, I would like a Tim Hortons, please.
First order of business, rebrand.
Imagine walking into Tim Hortons. I would like a Tim Hortons, please.
I would like one
maple tidbits.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if you knew I went to Canada for a week, so
Yeah. No, I you didn't invite me, so I heard about it.
Cultured. Hey, we were just down the Cape at the same time, though.
We were, but we didn't get to meet up.
You know what's funny? I saw. Did you or Tess post something from the Cape the other day?
Me on Instagram. I just posted a little. I posted my hot dogs.
I think that honestly that might have been what it was because I talked to you that day. We said we were in the same town. You were down the road from me. I said, all right, I'll call. Like we'll talk when we get back. And then I 3 days went by. I went home. I was back like in my house in Central Mass, and I was like, oh my god, wait, Sully was down the road from me the whole time. I forgot.
No, because I felt that too because we didn't end up getting down to the Cape until Saturday night around like 10:30, and so I was like, oh, it's probably too late for Mel. I'll text him tomorrow, and we were out at Embargo on Hyannis Main Street, and wild
Mm.
story involving the police and a Wendy's drive-through on Saturday night. We don't have to
Tell
get
it.
into that. Nobody cares.
Oh, did you go to the to the? I don't know if that's the place. It used to be called the Beach Tree Cantina, right on Main Street in Hyannis. When it's kind of like off, like Main Street is there, and then there's like the brick path you walk down, and there's a huge tree
Oh
with all
yes,
the tables underneath. Is that where you went?
no, but I did go by there.
Oh, that place is so good. You can I don't know if they still have it, but you used to be able to order s'mores, and they would come out with like a little flame, and they would give you a little tray of graham crackers and more. I mean, it's cool when you're a kid, I guess, and when you're 25. But yeah, I don't know, it was kind of fun. It's a cool place.
Yeah, no, I was gonna text you on Sunday, but then we just ended up going to the beach with my family, and then we left like later in the afternoon. So it was
I
a quick,
ended up I ended up leaving at like 6 a.m. on Sunday anyways. So
so it wouldn't have worked out.
yeah.
Hey, well, next time.
Hey,
And
we'll have to go golfing down there. I went to sorry, we're totally off the rails. I went to Blue Rock. I was trying to get a tea time for me, Ryan, and Connor, and like last year I made because every year we go golfing on the 4th, and last year I made a tea time like 4 days before the 4th, and I had no trouble getting times. We went to Bass River in Yarmouth, and then this time I was trying to make a tea time on Monday. I was like trying to make the tea time for Friday, and everything was booked. The only place I could find was Bass River at like 4:40, but we would have ran out of daylight. So, and then I found Blue Rock, and like the whole day was open, like all Friday. I was like, oh my god, what's everybody doing? Like sleeping on Blue Rock. So I made a tea time for 2:20. I pulled up and I realized it was a 3-hole a 3-par golf course.
oh
I was like, oh
no,
shit, I didn't know
Right,
that,
par-3.
but it was fine.
Yeah,
It was a good time.
Pass River is a good course.
Yeah.
But this next question comes in from Titletown Media. I don't want to get too off track. Next question comes in from Titletown Media. They said if Lysell is able to replicate or surpass DeBrusque's production, this could be a Stanley Cup winning team. I agree.
I agree as
very-
well. I
I'm very-
agree. Because I mean, essentially, you're bringing back the same team minus you lost a couple bottom 6 guys, big whoop, and then you added Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov.
Yeah, this team's good.
I'm gonna put that at a. Well, hang on. Is a take that I'm gonna put at a 4.
Four. The only difference really, and the only negative difference is that you lost Allmark and that tandem, and I mean now it's kind of a big question mark. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm confident enough in Swayman's ability to be a number one plus goalie coach Bob to kind of at least bring Corpus Solid at like normal levels.
And even we just established this last season that you got to get all you got to do is get to the playoffs. Is this Bruins team right now good enough to make the playoffs? Yeah. And then when you get to the playoffs, it doesn't matter if you have Omar anyways because you would have went with Swayman. So, I mean, I understand, they're both important to get you to that point, but even without Omar, this team is still making the playoffs. And then if you want to talk about the other bottom 6 guys that they lost, I mean, my God, the Bruins lost Jesper Boqvist. Put the duck boats in storage. There goes the season. I mean, damn it, man. There goes everything we were building. But,
Sell everyone.
Yeah, but Max Jones is a good pickup. I mean, I don't like how they got Kestelik, but I do think he's a good addition to this team. Nikita Zadorov is here. Elias Lindholm's here. Matthew Potter's healthy. This team is built to compete. So if Lysell can pick up Jake DeBrusque's slack now that DeBrusque is gone, I mean, Stanley Cup, here we come.
Yeah, I'll say 3 because I don't know if Lysell is going to be able to replicate that or surpass him, but I mean this team is still so deep. I'm with it. The next one comes in from our boy Pasta Party. He said, goalie Bob turns Korpisalo around. He and Swayman swap games like they did Allmark. That last part makes me say 7. I think Swayman's going to get at least 55 to 60 games.
Yeah, I'm saying 7 on that as well.
Yeah. Next one comes in from Keith Lacombe. Hampus for Line, signed Suter. Sorry, Keith. Sorry, Keith. I'm sorry. Ryan Suter stinks.
Yeah, I'll give you that an 8.
I don't want to be mean. I feel bad for doing that to you, Keith, but I mean, come on. Dude. You can't be doing that. No Suter. I love you, Keith. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm just having a lot of fun with the soundboard right now. But I also I'm not the biggest Patrick Laine guy either, to be honest.
Me neither. And neither was Columbus, and neither was Winnipeg.
Right. Next one comes in from Gianni. He said, or she, I actually don't know. Korpisalo becomes a top 15 goalie at least. I'll say 5. I can see it. He's with goalie coach Bob. All the Korpisalo takes that I have is kind of based on goalie coach Bob, to be honest. 100%.
Yeah. I'm going to say
15's tough though. Maybe I'll go 6.
I'm going to say 6.5.
Ooh.
Just because if he was a top 15 goalie, then that would mean that he's better than half of the league's starting goaltenders as it is. And I mean, last year he was literally the dead last in terms of goaltenders in the NHL. So, but goalie Bob, so 6.5.
Goalie Bob. He's the X factor. But this one comes in from Sean Collins. He said Elias Lindholm hits 90 points and over 35 goals.
Honestly, 4.
I'm going to say 6. 90 points, dude, is a lot.
Yeah, he had 42 goals and 88 points just a couple years ago.
Yeah, but then he dropped off.
Pasta. Yeah, because Gaudreau dropped off, and then shut up. And now he has Pasta.
I feel like it's fair. That's why I'm not so high on the Scoville meter or so low, because I feel like Lindholm is closer to the 80-point guy than he is the 60 or 50-point guy. I think he's closer to that, but he's just hit such a weird downslope lately. And well, I don't know what it is.
I mean, when he was in Calgary, he was playing on the line with Matt Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau, and then Johnny Gaudreau,
or was that before?
Yeah,
no, he was before, because he was playing with Tkachuk. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
Well, yeah, but he played with Huberdeau too.
Yes.
Yeah. And then he lost Tkachuk, got Huberdeau. Huberdeau sucks now. Gaudreau lost Gaudreau. Gaudreau sucks now. Goes to Vancouver. Who was he playing with the Vancouver? Was he on Pettersson's line?
I believe so.
I don't know how Pettersson ended the year. I know he was pretty dog water in the playoffs at times. But I don't know. I mean, maybe he just kind of needed a new home. And, sometimes changes of scenery can reinvent the guy's career. And I say reinvent like the guy's old. He's 28 years old. But, he's coming here. He knows his role. First line center for the next near decade. He's playing. He looks to his right. Oh, here is a 60 goal scorer. He looks to a left. Wow, here's a really handsome guy in Pavel Zacha. And I think he's gonna go out there and he's gonna sniff 90 points and 35 goals.
Pavel Zacha, you stud muffin. So shout out to Sean Collins. Next one comes in from Colby. He said, Merck is a better prospect than Lysell and will fit this team better next year. Beecher would be an elite second-line winger if given the chance and a bit of time to grow. Corpy is a perfect backup for Sway and should be kept unless Bussy DiPietro fully beats him out.
The Corpy one, I'll give that a 3. I don't mind Korpisalo as a backup.
Yeah. I'll give that a
Bob. What was the second one that he said?
Second was Beecher would be an elite second-line winger if given the chance and a bit of time to grow.
9. I have no idea where that's coming from.
I have no idea where that's
coming. He's a really good...
That took me by so much surprise.
Sorry. He's a really good fourth line center, but an elite second line winger? What are we talking about here?
No, I'm not laughing at Colby. I'm laughing at you, being like, I don't know where the fuck you got that from.
9 on that one, and then the first one was Merkulov being a better prospect than Lysell.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could see that. I still don't know what we're gonna get from Lysell. I don't even know if the guy exists. I say it all the time. Like, when are we gonna see the legend of Fabian Lysell? So I'll give that one a 4. At least we've seen Merkulov.
Yeah.
But Merkulov, like you said earlier, is an absolute demon in the AHL.
Right.
I mean, the guy is a monster down there. Fabian Lysell is too. He was almost at a point per game pace last year in the AHL, but I don't know. I mean, only one of them is gonna probably. I mean, there's like one spot in this team in that right wing position. It's gonna go to one of them. So I guess we'll see who steals the opportunity.
Yeah. That first one, the Merc one, I'll give a 5. The Beecher one, I give a scolding hot 10. And the Corpusalo, I give a 2. This one comes in from Frederick for MVP. Shout out to our guy. He's always in here. He said Corpusalo seizes starting goalie role, sparks a record-winning streak, and Corpusalo seizes starting goalie role, sparks a record-winning streak, and is for an elite goal scorer and future first-round pick, leading to the Stanley Cup Finals. I respect the hotness.
Yeah. 10.
10. He's not taking the starting role from Swayman. No chance. If he does, I mean, we both know this is so far from reality, but just imagine, just put yourself in that reality for a second. Don Sweeney would and will never, ever look smarter. Ever.
Oh, yeah. And on that contract, only $3 million a year? I mean, my goodness.
For a Vezina winning goalie?
Yeah.
So shout out Freddie. This one comes in from Mike. He said Swayman will sign a 2-year deal at a lower AAV to get to free agency. Hope I'm wrong. Just don't trust his agent. I give that an 8. The only reason it's not a 10 or a full hot take is because I can see Sweeney giving him a bridge deal again, which would suck. And I honestly hope that doesn't happen either. But like Mel said earlier, they're not, they both agreed to not go to arbitration. So that is a good sign. But I mean, they just got to get it done. But the 2 years at a lower AAV, I mean, it would help the team. But the only thing with that is that free agency already passed. So it's like, okay, now you just have like $9 million in cap space to work with. So yeah, I'm going to give that a 7 or 8. I think I'm going to go with a 8.
Yeah, that is, I think I'm right there with you on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of deal he's going to get. I know we were talking about it last episode that I really think that the UC Saros deal helps out what Swayman's going to get, but my God, it would be so on brand for Don Sweeney to just pull out a 2-year bridge deal. Here you go. Yeah. Take it or leave it. Well, we don't have as much money to give you because we have Corpusalo now. So
give him the Stamkos contract, 7 years.
Yeah. We will give you 10 years, 20 mil.
And a Tim Hortons franchise.
Yeah.
So this last hot take comes in from James Moran. He said Bruins would be best off trading Swayman for assets / selling high. They do well with goaltenders and have had excellent goalies for the last 15 years, either via trade or through the system. Wouldn't cry over Marchand, McAvoy, or Lindholm being dealt as well. James! Moran! Might as well switch that A for an O.
Apologize.
No, I'm not apologizing for that one. I'm not apologizing for that one. James, Jimmy, what are you doing? Trade Swayman, Marchand, McAvoy, and Lindholm? Are we rebuilding? James, what are we doing? What are we doing?
10. That's a 10.
That's a 10. That's a 15.
Not happening.
I believe that was the last one. Let me make sure really quick before I just don't want anybody to be left behind. Kevin Baker said Lorai takes over PP1 and finishes the year with 40+ points. I say 2. I think that's very possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah. This one comes in from Evan Vieira. Bruins don't re-sign Sway, and then in quotes he says, "I really hope this doesn't happen. My life will be ruined. If it does, Don should be fired." I'm gonna put that in 8. I think they sign him. I think we're all just a little bit impatient and anxious.
And if the Bruins don't re-sign Swayman, everybody gets fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a colossal failure that would be.
Yeah. And that's it for the hot takes. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. That was
we got a lot of takes there. Holy shit.
Yeah.
My mistake at the beginning for confusing hot and cold, and my mistake for at times thinking that people's hot takes were their actual takes. If I said anything that sounded mean, I didn't mean it like that.
I apologize to everybody except James Moran.
You know what? Let's hear your hot take for this year.
I actually posted it underneath the question. I said my hot take: Lysell will force his way into the lineup and finish the season with 60+ points.
My hot take is that Matthew Poitras gets 30 goals and 65 points.
Ooh, I like it. I
was gonna do like Brazeau as a 20 goal scorer, but come on. I mean, we said hot takes, not impossibilities.
So hell yeah. I mean, that's the first hot take segment that we have. I think that went really well, and I think honestly, I don't think it's gonna get a tired listen either. I think it was good. We had a lot of variety. We had a lot of good takes, hot takes, cold takes. Somebody said that the Bruins were going to be playing on ice this year. I think that's very possible.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know,
global warming. They could be playing duck hockey in a few years. Who knows?
They could. There's a spot in Hudson I know of.
Yep. Tennis courts all around. But with that being said, one of our OG segments. It is time to go through the Twitter DM questions. We got 2. Our boy Ethan 2.0, he's been with us. If anybody's new listening, Ethan 2.0, at Incredible Mr. E7 on Twitter. He's literally been a part of the podcast, sending in questions, sending in takes since episode 1. So he has multi-parters. So E2.0's 2-part questions. Part 1. Boys are here finally. Lindholm 2 and Zadorov. Realistically, what lines do you think they'll be running? Shoot, we already answered that in like an hour ago. And then he goes, tough question. I know because Monty is constantly changing the lines. Could we see Zadorov on the power play, or do you think he'll be PK?
Oh, God.
Lindholm, Pasta as a 4-on-4 or 3-on-3 line with Lindholm on the back end with maybe another forward, or do we maybe run Chuck or Carlo?
Can you say that again? Did he say Zadorov on the power play?
He said, could we see Zadorov on the power play, or do you think he'll be PK? I think he'll be PK. But I mean, I don't think he's going to be slotted into the power play immediately. Like, he's not going to be one of the first options. It'll be like, let's just try it just for fun.
Did he play power play in Calgary and Vancouver at all?
No.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I think he's definitely going to be in the penalty kill. I don't think he's ever going to sniff the power play, unless maybe they like put him in front of the net, like they did with Chara, because he's a big boy. But I mean, I think the way that, especially like defensemen, the way they kind of operate power plays, like I can't see Zadorov quarterbacking a power play from the blue line, like moving around and walking the blue line and dishing out pass. It's just not his game. And you have better guys to do that. Like he would be behind McAvoy, behind Lindholm, and behind Lorai. I would put Carlo out there in the power play before I would put Zadorov. But also, I'm not like intimately familiar with Zadorov's offensive game. I know who he is defensively. Which is why like he's a lock to be in the penalty kill power play. I don't think so.
I looked up the other day Nikita Zadorov goal highlights, and I'm not kidding you, 1 came up. Only it was a nasty goal. It was a nasty goal.
Was it? Well, maybe he's been waiting to get unlocked.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, he just waited for Boston.
6'6" and he's a ballerina.
Six.
Nick
Oh,
Niederbauer.
yeah. Don't even. Oh, he's gone. He needs to. You know what? He's going to be immortalized into the soundboard. We need to find one of his quotes and we'll put him in the soundboard. And
You know what you should do? You should do the yell that he had. Oh, I
Get
don't
up!
remember. No, the one when he went, ha! When he had that like god awful yell into the mic. It was like a couple years ago. You know what I'm talking
I forget
about?
what game now it was fun, what it was from, but I do remember the call. There's so many, dude, that we could do.
Tumbling Muffin.
Yeah, we could do a bunch. But Ethan's second part. Oh, he's got 3 parts today. He said part 2. Realistically, how much realistically, how much time do we see Jones getting versus the other bottom depth guys we signed? And do you think the 4th line gets a permanent lineup, or do you think it's a revolving door between the new signings? I think it's a revolving door between guys like Beecher, Brazeau, and Jones. I think those are the 3 guys that are going to be swapped in and out pretty frequently.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they all bring you something a little different, which is why it's okay that they're all going to be going in and out of the lineup. But
yeah,
I think you're going to see a healthy amount of Max Jones, but I think you're definitely going to see those guys going in and out.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, you're going to get those bottom 6 guys rest. You're going to get them reps. They're not going to be ice cold. I think it's a good thing. But part 3, he said, breakout year for Beecher and Lori. Just go ahead and jot that down now. And then he said, spicy take for the pod. Merck will outwork and steal the spot from Lysell.
I could see it. I could see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to see Lysell though. I've been dying to see what he can bring to this team. So, but also at the same time, he's had plenty of opportunities and he just can't seem to take it.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I mean, he had to watch Lauko get called up. He had to watch Merkulov get called up. He had to watch Mark McLaughlin get called up. Clearly, they've been, calling up Providence saying, "Hey, send us your best guy," and it's never been Lysell. So hopefully, this is finally the year where he, kind of lights a fire under his ass and takes that spot because it's there for the taking.
Yeah, I think definitely a breakout year for Lori. I want to say the same for Beecher. I just don't know if he's going to get the ice time, to be honest.
Yeah. But I mean, even if it's not a breakout in the sense of like, he's doubling his points. I mean, I like the player that Beecher was last year. I liked him a lot, and I think he's going to get even better this year. But for what he brings to the table, I mean, I'm already in love with him as a player. So I don't know if he's going to be an elite second line winger, but I do like him, winning faceoffs and his 200-foot game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So shout out Ethan. The next one comes in from a mainstay, Laura at King of Ping 18.
Laura,
Saka's #1 fan. She has a great question. She said, "Hey y'all, I hope you're surviving without the Swayman. I can't read right now. Oh my god, my brain is fried." She said, "Hey y'all, hope you're surviving without this Swayman news because I sure as hell ain't." Anyways, the question I have for you guys is: if you were an NHL player, what are 5 to 7 teams that you would have on your no trade list? Hang on, I need to jot some down.
Edmonton.
Really?
Yeah, it's cold as shit.
Okay.
Hang on. I got to write this down too.
Yeah, I'm writing mine down too now.
I'm thinking about everything. I'm thinking about team culture, thinking about fans. Are we ranking them like 1 through 7? No, I can't do that.
No, just 5 teams.
Okay.
It is kind of tough because there are a lot of teams in the league that I'm like, yeah, I would like to play for them. Ooh, I'll have them. And then I need one more. Okay, and then this. Okay, I have mine. Do you want me to read mine?
Yeah.
Wait, my brother's calling. Do you want me to answer it and tell him I'm on the pod? Have him take.
Yeah,
I'll have him say a spicy take.
Yeah, put him on speakerphone.
Right. Here's Andrew of the Drop Back Podcast. Andrew, you're live on the podcast.
Oh, hey, boo-boo.
I'll call you back afterwards. We're almost done, but give me your hottest take of the team coming into the year.
Of the Patriots or the Bruins?
The Bruins. The Patriots.
Well, here's the thing. I think the Bruins should trade Marchand. I think we should blow the team.
Hang up.
Sell while you can, because it's only downhill from here.
All right. Well, that's Andrew of the Dropback Podcast, Patriots Podcast, also on the Primetime Productions Network. Go ahead and cancel him for that kind of.
What a terrible take.
I can't even believe he's a brother of mine. That's crazy. My one and only brother, my own blood, saying that. That's nonsense.
I'm like struggling here to come up with teams I wouldn't want to play for.
I'll read mine off right now.
Okay.
I have Columbus because I don't want to play for that franchise. Why would I ever want to go play for the Blue Jackets? The only cool thing about them is that they had Rick Nash and they have a cannon, and that's it.
The cannon's pretty cool though.
Cannon is cool. It almost saved it for me, but it's not enough. Next team I have is Utah. I don't want to go to Utah. I think it's a cool team, but they don't have, they don't interest me that much. So Utah is going to be there. I have Seattle. I don't want to go to Seattle. I don't want to go to the West Coast. That city's rainy. They don't have any Dunkins. They just have Starbucks. Although I will say their rink is pretty cool that they play below sea level. I think that's cool. But still, no thank you. St. Louis, never been a big fan of those Blues. I don't like them that much. I don't want to wear their colors. I don't like them. They beat us in 2019. No thank you. That's a no for me. And then my last team on my no trade would be Ottawa, just because really, Ottawa, I don't want to go to Ottawa.
Listen, those are some pretty good teams. Or
I'm
pretty bad teams. I have 5.
Okay.
First up, I already said it. I have Edmonton. I think it's just way too cold.
Location.
It's like far from everything. And I just wouldn't. That's just not the kind of place that I personally would like to live in. So I would not want to play for Edmonton. Number 2 is Toronto. Beautiful city. But I don't want to play for those fans, and I don't want to answer questions from that media because that sounds like a nightmare. And you have one bad game in Toronto, and you got to relocate your family there. It seems like. Number 3, I also
program.
What?
Witness protection program.
Yeah. Number 3, I also have Columbus because it is located in Ohio. Number 4, I have San Jose because they suck. They are making literally no effort to get better at all. They're, they did sign Colin Graff, who did win he did win a national championship at Quinnipiac. They got Macklin celebrating. They got a couple good young guys coming in, but in my lifetime, they've had maybe 6 good seasons, and I am 25 years old. And then lastly, I have the Philadelphia Flyers because I have absolutely zero interest for playing for Philadelphia. And I know that if I then said, "Hey, Philly, I'm not playing for you," I saw what they did to Cutter Gauthier, and I do not want that to happen to me. So Flyers would be in my no trade list. I'm good. I also don't like Torts.
I think I would like to play for Torts.
I don't think I would.
I think him and I would get along.
I think of the way that he treated Kevin Hayes.
Yeah, that was dirty.
That was pretty dirty. Although I do appreciate, Torts having Kevin Hayes back with the whole media thing, after Kevin Hayes left. But too little, too late. You benched the guy when he was your team's only all-star, and just all that crap. So I'm good on Philly. Those are my 5 teams.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, last segment of the night before we call it quits. Mel,
you've got mail.
Yeah, there it is, baby. Mel's mailbag. I got 2 letters this week. Any guesses on who they could be from?
One is definitely Seth, and then the other one is Jack.
No. Well, one is Seth. I'll read Seth's first. Then you can guess after. This is from Seth, brother of Laura. You can follow Seth on Twitter at SethIRoth10. Seth said, "Hey, heard Sully wanted my hottest take for the pod this week, and I'll give it my hottest take. The Bruins will finish." Oh, sorry. Yeah, press it. Yeah, hot take incoming. The Bruins. Oh, there's even fire trucks too. Wow. The Bruins will finish top 5 in the entire league standings wise. Corpusalo somehow plays well thanks to the revival powers of goalie Bob, and Swayman gets a Vezina nomination at the end of the year. Hope it's hot enough of a take for you two. All right, let's break it down. Bruins will finish top 5 in the entire league standings.
2.
I'm gonna put that out of 4.
I'm gonna put it at a 2.
I think it can happen. I mean, they just did it this year.
Top 5 team for sure. This team is so
I'm gonna give that
fucking
a 4. I could see it happening. Corpusalo somehow plays well thanks to the revival powers of goalie Bob. 2. I can legitimately see that. I'm fairly confident that's going to happen. I think Corpusalo is going to be okay this year.
Yeah.
And then lastly,
I also say 3, just because maybe not, but I have so much faith in goalie coach Bob.
just because maybe not. And then lastly, Swayman gets a Vezina nomination at the end of the year. 1. Give him that a
0.
1. He was a near Vezina candidate lock until the All-Star break. Seth, I'm gonna be honest, these weren't too hot. I'm feeling pretty good about the possibilities of each of these happening. But Corpusalo, like, I don't know, I feel bad because like when the Bruins traded for him, like I was like, man, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And I came on the pod and I was talking about how much he sucked, and he did suck, and everything with goalie Bob and everything. But I feel like the last couple of weeks I've kind of been talking myself into the possibility that he might be fairly decent next year. Like I think that he can be a valuable backup, and especially him and Swayman, like. Because Corpusalo, he's been a starting goalie. He was a starting goalie last year. He was a starting goalie throughout his career times, and he doesn't have to do that anymore. And he knows he's never going to be the starting goalie of this team, damn it. Swayman's 25. He's going to get a long-term deal. So maybe the pressure of being a starting goalie comes off. He's got the defensive structure of the Boston Bruins, and he's got goalie Bob. I mean, we're talking about Swayman getting Vezina votes. I mean, am I, you know what? Let's stop it while I'm ahead. All right, thanks for the letters. Seth. My next letter. Do you have any guesses on who this is from?
If it's not Jack, if it's not Seth, I don't have any guesses.
Come on.
Don Sweeney.
No.
Nathan Horton. It's got to be Nathan.
It's Frederick for MVP.
Ready?
You can follow Freddie on Twitter at Frederick_MVP. Freddie said, weak question. What is better? One must go. Crab Rangoons or Nikita Zadorov? Easiest. This is a layup.
No, I have my finger on the button. I swear to God.
See you later, Nikita Zadorov.
No, it's done. No,
listen.
You're not. No, get out of here. I don't want to hear it. Get out.
Listen.
On this podcast,
Nikita Zadorov lasts 6 years. Crab Rangoons last a lifetime. Nikita Zadorov.
You can eat too many crab rangoons where you die.
Give me an example.
Heart attacks. Nikita Zadorov will protect you.
No, he won't. What if I'm on the other team? And on top of that, Nikita Zadorov costs $30 million.
Good point.
A box of like 6 crab rangoons at a fairly respectable Chinese restaurant. $11. I mean, come on. Crab Rangoons any day of the week. Anyways, he also says, if Crab Rangoons were banned tomorrow, would you riot in the streets with a sign that reads, save the Rangoons, or would you peacefully protest with a meh, more room for spring rolls attitude?
That's the other thing, Mel. You can have any other kind of food. You can only have one Nikita Zadorov.
No, all I need is Crab Rangoons. And to answer Freddie's question, I would undoubtedly riot in the streets with a sign that says "Save the Rangoons." I would never, ever, 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 ever cheat on Crab Rangoons with spring rolls. I'm honestly not a big spring rolls guy. I do like egg rolls, but no. If Crab Rangoons were banned tomorrow, I would simply move to China, where they are not banned, and I can enjoy them every single day.
I can't believe you closed this pod off and say you would pick Crab Rangoons over Nikita Zadorov.
I can't believe you're
This is-
surprised.
This is where
You're
our
lucky
friend-
he just asked if it was Nikita Zadorov.
who. Okay, Marshawn or Crab Rangoons. Now I'm testing you. No, because I already know what you're gonna say. Marshawn's about to retire, and I already have that many great years. All right, so pasta or Crab Rangoons.
Do the Crab Rangoons come with duck sauce?
Sure.
Crab Rangoons. Oh my god. I'm already sick of the soundboard.
Damn, that's a crazy. Hey, I mean, I respect your love for Crab Rangoons. Listen,
Yeah. Nobody can say I'm not loyal.
no, that's true. You are loyal. You know what? You are. No, you're loyal.
Hey.
I can't be mad about that. I'm loyal to Zadorov. You're loyal to Rangoons. I can't be mad about that.
Yeah. We're never gonna find a middle ground on it.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We're usually on the same page about things, just not with this.
I will say, for everybody knows my passion for crab rangoons. My favorite ever crab rangoon place in my entire life, in the entire world. Nobody will ever compare to their crab rangoons. Went out of business when I was in college. So I will say, this is my definitive answer. People always ask me all the time. I get stopped in the street. Hey, who's got the best crab rangoons? I'm now giving you my answer. Hot take. Market Basket. Don't listen. I know there are some of you in your car right now laughing at me. Go to Market Basket. The one, preferably, I don't know if they make them different at other locations. The one in Hudson, Mass, specifically. Get their box of crab rangoons. It comes with a little thing of duck sauce. It is. I almost fell to my knees and cried. It was that good. Not as good as China Taste. That went out of business, but it's my second all-time favorite, which is now my first all-time favorite because China Taste is gone. So that's the end of the question for anybody wondering. The best crab rangoons come from Market Basket.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. But anyways, episode 99. We are on the verge of 100.
Wow.
100 episodes. That's crazy. I mean, who would have thought that we would do this? We put out one episode a week for 99 straight weeks.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Committed to the grind. What can we say? We love the Bruins.
99 weeks. What's that? Like 2.5 years? 2.25? Something like that?
We did have a couple weeks where we put out 2 episodes, and we also had a couple weeks where we missed an episode. Honestly, it probably evens out.
No, we never missed we never missed a week.
We didn't put one out like 2 weeks ago.
I put out that like time capsule episode though, where we didn't record, but I put together that mashup.
No, that was when I was in Canada. Like 2 weeks ago, we didn't put out an episode.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fucking again. Why does anybody listen to me? I'm wrong about everything. Don't ever listen to me again. That's fucking crazy.
It is wild though, and it's been a lot of fun. And we've met a lot of really cool people, and we've interacted with a lot of neat people. We've met people at Bruins games. Even like it's weird, like people like one of my friends from high school was like, "Oh, hey, how's the Bruins pod going?" I was like, "Oh my god, what? Stop!" Oh my god, like this is becoming too real for me.
It is weird when people that we know are like, "Oh, like how's that going?" I'm like, "Oh, like
yeah." I'm like, how do you know about that? It's just what? And you're like, "Oh, I don't know. I've listened to an episode." I'm like, "Oh god, no."
It's cool though. It is cool. I mean, like we've always said it. Like me and you just do this normally, and then one day we were just like, let's just fucking put it out on a podcast and see what happens. And now look at this. It's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I think our first episode, I was using my PlayStation headset. I was recording on a broken chair in my room, and now I'm using like a $20. I mean, now I'm using a $20 mic from Amazon, and I'm using a different broken chair, and I moved into a different room in my house. So I guess really not much has changed there. But I would like to think that the quality of what we've been doing, and of course the people that we've been interacting with along the way, has definitely changed. So we're very appreciative for everybody who chooses to listen to us and to support us. And we could honestly have a whole 5-hour episode just going through the list of everybody who has supported us and encouraged us and inspired us. But it's been a lot of fun, and here is to 100 more.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, like Mel said, a big part of like we would do this normally, but a big part of what makes this fun is having everybody engage, send in their hot takes, send in their DMs. We will be bringing the voicemails back. It'll be in a different capacity in terms of how we did it before, but we will be opening the voicemail line back up. I don't know when. People have been asking. I know Freddie's been asking. Johnny's been asking. A couple other people have been asking as well. I don't have an exact timetable of when it'll come back. I'm thinking maybe around the preseason, once games happen, because I wanted to. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking it would be more effective if it's like a reaction line, you know what I mean? And we can play those reactions at the end of the episodes. Like, say the Bruins come off a big win and you got people calling in all hyped, all excited, just letting all the emotions out. And it's like a whole like 10, 20 plus calls, and we can mash them up at the end, and it would be a fun little mini. Don't go near the soundboard. It would be it would be a fun little way to integrate calls into the show as well, because we do have to be mindful of time. Like today, we're running over 2 hours, and that's without games even being played. So when the games are being played, a lot of the focus is going to shift to what's been going on with the team, standings, etc. So we do have to kind of delegate the time a little bit better, and we'll figure out how to do it. But we want to keep all the same segments and incorporate obviously everybody who listens to the show, because that's the best part about it, in my opinion, is having everybody join in on the fun, because it's really you guys who drive the show. It's not us. I mean, without us, it would just be me and you having a conversation about the team.
But and we say it all the time.
Yeah,
we say it all the time is
better.
Yeah, and everything that we do is so heavily driven by, people who choose to spend their time listening to us and DMing us and leaving voicemails and just talking to us on Twitter and whatnot. We try, really hard to incorporate all that as much as we possibly can, because it's not just the two of us, it's everybody else who listens as well, who's just as much a part of the show as we are. And a lot of people want to hear from Johnny. Like, so many people miss Johnny's voicemails. So maybe we'll have to do something over the summer with Johnny. Try to get him back on the show for something short or something like that, because I miss listening to the way that he's been describing. Listen, we don't have Jack Edwards anymore, but we do have Johnny. And the way that he can describe stuff, it's poetic. But, we're still only in July. We still have dev camps going on. We still have a bit of time here until preseason starts. So don't think that we're going anywhere. Don't think that the content's going to stop. We're still ramping up, baby. We got a summer full of fun. We just got the soundboard coming in. Came in today. You heard it on the first episode. We got to add some new sounds. It's only going to get better from here. And we have that neon sign coming in as well, which I have a guess of what it says, but I won't say anything because I want to be surprised. So big stuff coming out that we're very excited for. And if you've been here for the last 99 episodes, thank you. If this is the first episode that you've listened to, just like Teddy, welcome. We're happy to have you. And we are not going anywhere. So thank you for 99. Next week is 100. Crazy shit, triple digits. And forget 100. We're going for 1,000 more. We're going to do this until we're in our 80s. We're going to be in a retirement home with no teeth going, Daddy, you can't even understand what we're saying.
Remember Schweiman?
I'll tell you what, I never was able to get over that Omar trade. You're like 85. The Bruins have won like 9 cups.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Kastelik never got over it.
I tell you though, Kastelik, he did pretty good, dude.
No. We'll be in the retirement home. But listen, that 2015 NHL draft. It's like 2070. We're still talking about it.
Like I'll never forget. Jake DeBrusk might not have panned out, but boy, did he have some big moments.
It's like Wayne Gretzky the third is playing in the league, and we're still talking about Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
There never what we were right. There never was another Patrice Bergeron.
Who would have thought 2011 would be the only cup we shot our lifetime?
No, don't say that.
Again. I've been booed 7 times this episode by myself.
Oh my god.
But Minnie's trying to talk into the microphone. That's my cat. But yeah, I mean, it's been a hell of a ride. We don't plan on ever stopping. And it's only been getting better. The engagement's been getting better, and we're pumped to do it. And this season is going to be a ton of fun. So if you haven't yet, definitely subscribe to the pod. It helps grow the network. Give it a rating. Give it a like. Give it a subscribe. We're trying to be more consistent on YouTube, and I've been saying that for the last few weeks. But I've been trying to set up, get this new microphone come in, the soundboard, the signs that we have coming in. The one behind me right now isn't lit up because, as we said earlier, it's the sun, so it just doesn't show up on screen. Yeah, so a lot of things are going well over here in the Something's Bruin studios. Stick with us for the rest of the season because we're not going anywhere. And we're gonna have a ton of fun all together. So with that being said, episode 99 of the Something's Bruin podcast, brought to you by PrimeTime Productions. Give them a follow on Twitter at PrimeTime Prods. Give our Twitter a follow at Bruin Something. Give our YouTube a follow at Something's Bruin. Give myself a follow on Twitter at _Mike Sullivan. And give Mel a follow on Twitter at Nick Melanson _. And with that being said, episode 99, Christmas Eve to episode 100. It's been a hell of a ride. We're going to keep going. We're just getting started, baby. And with that being said, we'll catch you all next week.
Bye.